First, the headlines. Marketers demand transparency in proposed refinery sale. High lower fuel prices. NCF plants 184,000 trees in 2024, target 25% forest cover by 2047. Egypt-Nigeria deepen economic education ties. Now the details. Marketers demand transparency in proposed refinery sales. High lower fuel prices. Oil marketers and industry stakeholders have welcomed the potential sale of Nigeria's underperforming refinery, urging the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) to ensure transparency, accountability, and stakeholder engagement in the process. The call comes amid growing concern over the inefficiency of the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries, which have consumed trillions of naira in maintaining and rehabilitation with little to no output. Marketers believe that privatizing the asset could introduce real competition in the downstream sector, enhance fuel availability, and drive down prices. Their reactions follow recent comments by NNPC Group Chief Executive Officer Bayo Ojulari, who revealed in an interview with Bloomberg at the 9th OPEC International Seminar in Vienna, Austria, that rehabilitation efforts have not yielded the expected result due to the refinery's obsolete infrastructure. Ojulari disclosed that the company is reassessing its strategy and plans to conclude the review by year-end. Sale is not out of the question, he said, noting that all options are on the table pending the outcome of the ongoing assessment. Industry sources say the proposal coincides with a statement by the Dangote Group President Aliko Dangote, who suggested that the refineries may never become viable due to years of mismanagement. In an interview, the national president of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owner Association of Nigeria, Petron, Billy Gillis Harry, described privatization as a logical move given the facility's history of inefficiencies. We had earlier recommended that privatization is the best path towards, and we still maintain that position, he said. However, he urged caution, querying the motives and the timing behind the renewed push for asset sales. If this is done, it must be done right, with full disclosure and the national interest at heart, he added. NCF plants 184,000 trees in 2024, target 25% forest cover by 2047. The Nigerian Conservation Foundation, NCF, says it planted 184,000 trees across various ecosystems in 2024 as part of its drive to restore Nigeria's forest cover to 25% by the year 2047. This was disclosed during a special dialogue session held alongside the Foundation's 36th annual general meeting, where environmental stakeholders gathered to discuss strategies for preserving Nigeria's natural heritage. The president of the NCF Board of Trustees, Izoma Asiodu, said the foundation began the year with strong momentum, implementing several key programs, including the 22nd Chief S.L. Edu Memorial Lecture. The event themed carbon credit opportunities and pitfalls, addressed emerging issues in climate finance, and reinforced the NCF's advocacy agenda. We also awarded research grants to 2 PhD students to support their work in developing innovation, environment protection solutions, as Yodo said, acknowledging the support of the SL Edu family and Chevron Nigeria Limited. According to him, the tree planting effort was part of the foundation's flagship Green Recovery Nigeria program, which aims to rehabilitate degraded landscape and support climate resilience. He added that the initiative also prioritized the well-being of host communities, providing water, livelihood support, and other resources tailored to their needs. In her remarks, the chairman of the National Executive Council, Justice R.I.B. Adebiyi, described the 2024 as a pivotal year for the organization. Despite global challenges, NCF remained focused and achieved notable milestones. Under the Green Recovery Nigeria program alone, we planted 184,000 trees nationwide. We also intensified efforts to protect endangered wildlife under our Saving Species in Peril initiative, she said. Justice Adebiyi reaffirmed the Foundation's commitment to scaling up conservation efforts and fostering long-term environmental sustainability across Nigeria. Egypt, Nigeria deepen economic educational ties. The ambassador of the Arab Republic of Egypt to Nigeria, Mohamed Fouad, has said that strengthening trade and investment relations between Egypt and Nigeria remains a top priority for the countries. Fouad made the remarks during the celebration of Egypt's 73th National Day over the weekend in Abuja, where he emphasized the commitment of both nations to building a modern, forward-looking partnership rooted in shared values and mutual interests. Scaling up our trade and investment relations is said. We are proud of the numerous Egyptian companies that have been active in Nigeria for years, especially in construction, energy, and communications, contributing to economic growth and job creation. He highlighted ongoing collaboration in critical sectors including security, counter-terrorism, agriculture, education, healthcare, and infrastructure, noting that both countries are working with determination to deepen bilateral cooperation. Ambassador Fouad also pointed to the rising people-to-people exchanges between Egypt and Nigeria in tourism, education, and business, describing them as a solid foundation for long-term diplomatic and economic ties. Speaking on Egypt's national transformation, Fouad noted that the country is undergoing comprehensive modernization under President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's new republic vision, with sweeping reforms across all sectors. Recalling the historical bond between the two countries, he referenced Al-Azhar Al-Sharif University in Cairo, and its long-standing relationship with northern Nigeria through the Borno Pavilion, established centuries ago to host Nigerian students. Today, hundreds of Nigerian students are enrolled in Egyptian universities. They represent a new generation of leaders who will not only contribute to Nigerian society, but also help strengthen our bilateral ties, he said. Before I end the news, here are the headlines once again. Marketers demand transparency in proposed refinery sale, high lower fuel prices. NCF plants 184 trees in 2024, target 25% forest cover by 2047. Egypt, Nigeria deepen economic educational ties. That ends the business and economic news. Now, dear listeners out there, I would like you to be part of the conversation, and I would like you to do that by joining the studios by calling the studio lines, and the lines to call are 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893, and the last one 0911 3333 893. So we would like you to be part of the conversation. We would like you to join in and also air your views on each of the news that we just read. Now, Mrs. Olufumilade, I want to say good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, it's the time to sigh and fasten the belt. I think you are ready.
By God's grace.
Let's go. Now, marketers demand transparency in proposed refinery sale, high lower fuel prices. How do you feel about this news?
Actually, I remembered during I think the 2019 election when I read Atiku's manifesto. He said he wanted to privatize energy sector, the oil and gas sector, and everybody cried as in, what do you mean? It's our, and all that. To be very candid with you, it's a two-way thing. Now, what we even have on ground now, Port Harcourt, Warri, and Delta, is nothing compared to the amount in quotes. I say in quotes that has been invested there. I use the word quote because that is what we have on figure. Is that the actual thing? Because if actually they have invested that much in that place, I don't think that place will be a shadow of itself. You understand? When did Dangote start? And he's already making this kind of a success. It's a success story, and he's the one putting them on their toes now. You understand? If Dangote refinery was not there, we would not be having this much performance from them, because now it is so glaring that there is mismanagement. It's so glaring that there is corruption. It's so glaring that there has been a lot of siphoning of funds. So for me, this idea of privatizing has to be done tactically. Now the marketers, in fact, I have to give them a clap. They are now sitting up to what we have at ground. They are sitting up and they want to be heard. You understand? They are not just having side talks. They are now, confronting the situation. I feel that I don't know whether I can talk the way I want to talk now, since they are the ones, talking about the refineries, and in quotes, like stated in the news, that there is mismanagement. I feel that the marketers should buy the refineries. In that way, we keep it in the family. You understand? Now, if the marketers buy the refinery, a combined effort, they stand to make money. I don't think they will siphon money. It's a group. There are people, they are stakeholders, and everybody is like looking over the other person as in, what are you doing? What are you doing? You understand? I don't feel they should sell this refinery to just one person there, because if the refinery in the control of NNPC is misbehaving like this, so what will happen when they sell it off to their uncle, in quotes? You understand?
What will happen?
What will happen? Because the whole thing will be gone. If in their control, it is still behaving like this. So what will happen? I use the word uncle because we all know what's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel it's gone. So I feel that since the marketers are this alert and assertive at this time, I think they should think of having a collaboration, and let's keep it in the family, in the family, as in the country, and let them tackle this situation themselves in a transparent way.
Oh, well, there are too many issues to look at in what you have said. Let's first talk about the status of our refineries in the country. It is very sad because for a very long time, we've not had it good with the Port Harcourt, Warri, and the Kaduna refineries, because it's been epileptic. That is why we have long queues. That is why we have serious issues of importation and losing so much in terms of forex to that. But now we say thanks to Dangote. If just one man that has an investment, has a big refinery, and that has built us out this far as a country, why can't Nigeria maintain easily just 3 refineries? Well, it brings to mind the saying that government does not have business in business, but I refuse to accept that. What
That's
that
a cliche.
means? Yes, that cliche. What it means to me is that people just go into government business with the mind of, we are going to make it dry. We are going to have our own cut of the cake. This is an opportunity. Our appointment is an opportunity to make the nation dry. They
take the share of the national cake.
Is that patriotic? Is that patriotic?
That's a cliche.
No.
It has become a cliche.
Yeah. Okay, it has become a cliche. Yes, I agree with you. Just 1 month ago, a question over Port Harcourt refinery shut down after $1.5 billion rehabilitation. That is mind-boggling. And look at this report by Premium Times on October 24, precisely. 20 Times reported that Senate probes 11.35 trillion spent on rehabilitation of refineries.
In a short space of time.
Yeah, that was 2023. And now, Reuters had days that Nigeria spent $25 billion to fix refineries at going parliament, alleged. The parliament of that time alleged. Now, what we have just a month, what we have is a very sad situation where government is attempting to turn around these facilities, and is just like a white elephant. And now, just recently, just about last week, there was this news. The Senate Committee on Public Accounts, chaired by Aliyu Wadada, raised an alarm over discrepancies, alleged
figures.
Yes, alleged discrepancies involving trillions of naira in the audited financial statement of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, describing the revelation as mind-boggling and worrisome. Why one tends to ask that if this allegation have its roots in fact, if the allegation is very real, then what kind of nation, what kind of country?
In fact, that's not what I even thought you would say.
People?
I even thought you would say, if these things are true, why are they not making arrests?
No. Before arrest, there will be investigation.
Okay, fine.
Before they establish the truism, there should be investigation.
This is not the first time we have had foul cry like this. Nothing is always done about it.
Yes.
It's just silent. It's always been silent, and then we move on to the next.
Well, I think that
that's why I always say that when it comes to Nigeria, I always smell something. It's either I smell a rat or I smell a fish.
Oh, whether rat or fish. I think there are questions begging for answer here. And for me as a person, I would say that the NNPC group Chief Executive Officer Bayo Ojulari should answer some questions here. What do you think?
Before I answer that question, I just want to, it's like I'm trying to say my own mind here.
All right.
I don't see any difference in the administration of the incumbent NNPC, GMD or whatever, and the outgone one, because we're still the same. It's still the same drama. The drama is corruption, mismanagement, and lack of accountability and transparency. It's still going on, side by side. So I wonder, is it that they just picked? I'm trying to be careful with my words here. Is it that they picked because it's still the same thing.
But I'm just thinking that, like when you are talking of governance, they will say that government and governance is a continuum.
Yes.
That it continues. Maybe Ojulari will explain to us that this did not happen under his own
That is what they always all say.
But then, papers don't lie.
Yes, that is what they all say.
Even if they say that, if that is a front that is put up, papers won't lie. There will be record.
Even social media keeps memory. It's all in the media.
Yes,
So,
there will be records.
Yes.
Let the paper get checked, and then let us come out with fact. But I want to say it is very sad after you have expended so much money on maintenance, turnaround.
The money they are spending to maintain, or to run the refineries, can be used to set up a brand new one.
A new one
that will function better.
Better.
I think I can
A
come
mega
as an
refinery
advisory.
for that matter.
If they want to sell the refinery, they could privatize it, and then instead of spending money where we are not seeing anything, they could just set up a brand new one. And as they make yields from that, you see, if Nigeria is focused and our government, they are focused and they are really concerned about the masses, how to make life better for everyone, I think they should have a whole new refinery. You understand? Because the mismanagement done in the last, 2 or 3 decades on the 3 stationed refineries, what I'm saying is that when you are meant to use money to repair something and you're not doing anything, the wear and tear, even when you finally want to repair it, what you will do might not be seen. I don't know if you understand. It's just like you have a crack on the wall and you are giving money to fix it, and you just go there, you just put 2 stones, that will hold it. You haven't done anything. In another 1 or 2 years, the
decay will be more.
So
and
the states the refineries are now, I think it's better they move on and sell it off. You understand? Because the lack of maintenance in the last 2-3 decades has left it in a shadow of itself. So whatever they are doing now is not meaningful. That's just my take on this.
The marketers. You did raise a point about the marketers.
They should sell it.
All right. Now, what I want to say is that the marketers, they are making a very crucial demand here. They are saying that, in fact, the refinery should be sold, but that there should be transparency and accountability.
Who do they want them to sell it to? That they should voice out. Let's know their mind.
Well, before we talk about the question of who gets what.
Because I don't want them to sell it to another uncle. Then the whole circle starts all over again.
Well,
I think that is where the transparency should be.
For me, much as there's transparency and accountability, and it is not sold to the same person that has the mega refinery now.
Yes.
If it is not sold to the same person, where we'll be having a problem of a monopoly. If it is sold to a different entity, a different business concern, now then we, like the marketers have said, that might usher in an era where there will be competitiveness.
The monopoly will stop.
The monopoly
like I've always said, we need more Dangotes.
More Dangotes. So the cry now that the marketers are making is that there should be more Dangotes, like you would always say. Now, transparency, accountability.
Very necessary.
Because so much money had been
expended.
This is where I'm going. So much money had been recovered by the anti-graft agencies in Nigeria. But when you talk about, they will talk about looting of money, recovery of loot, and relooting of money.
The same money you gather from looting, you loot it again.
It's been looted again. If this is a statement of fact, then we have to cure our ailment in Nigeria. If this is a statement of fact, something has to be done to redeem this country from the precipice. We can't continue like this. So, as the marketers are proposing, let there be accountability in the sale. And then the money that will be used, like you just said, that money could be, we have 3 moribund refineries here, or 3 refineries that are working at epileptic stage here. If they are sold, that money will be enough to build a mega refinery. And that will be good news for us as a country.
In fact,
or we'll plow that money into another area, maybe for environmental development, or
you know that yearly in the budget, there's always money for maintaining that refinery. So if the money for
without
maintaining the
anything to
refinery
show.
and the money for selling, it can even get us 2 refineries.
let's say one.
Or one.
If
Then-
what we have now with Dangote refinery
Then
has
transparent-
built us from having a long queue, having shortage in supplies and all that, then if we have one...
Actually, Dangote really exposed a lot of things.
Oh no. So
Exposed a lot of
this
things.
mess has to be cleared, and this mess has to be stopped. Well, and then those who are maybe, should we say, fortunate to have an appointment in government establishments, let us go there with a purpose to be good patriots. Incidentally, the late president, the former president, who is now late, Muhammadu Buhari, is variously described as a patriot. So let us live to that bidding, so that when we have left the state, people will call us patriots, and it will be well with this country, Nigeria. Item. But before I call out the headline, I will want to tell their listener out there to join us. Don't just leave us to this. Don't just be good listeners alone. We want you to also contribute to this discourse. And the studio lines to call are 0916 893 1000, 0915 334 893, and the last one 0911 333 893. So you can join us in the studio to tell us about to give us your perspective to the issues at hand. Now, NCF plans 184,000 trees in 2024, target 25% forest recovery by 2047.
That's a good one. It makes me, it's good for the ecosystem. It's it's a welcome development, and also wildlife.
Okay.
Because when you have, when you don't do tree planting, it has a way of disbalancing the ecosystem, the ozone layer, and then wildlife is gradually being faded off.
Risk. Yeah.
You know, so it's a welcome. I remembered when I schooled in the north.
All right.
And in the 80s back then, and I remembered there was this Operation Plant a Tree. So every student, you can imagine a school from primary 1 to from form 1 to form whatever, and every student was to plant 1 tree. And when we were looking at us, we were close to like 500, and that was how we planted trees round the school classroom area, the hostels, the staff quarters everywhere. And I remembered when I went to pick my certificate, as in the original certificate, I think 10 years later, my goodness, trees were... The
school had become
the trees were like great grandparents.
Okay.
So it's a welcome development, and the place was very cool, breezy. You know how when you have trees, it makes an environment to have a cool shade. You understand? And I looked at the place; it looked different from what we left behind, because the trees had matured, and it gave the school another kind of look. Even from the entrance of the gate, all the trees we planted. In fact, it looks so beautiful. So it's a good one. And they even have a target, 2047.
Yeah.
That's enough time for them to become great grandparents.
Okay. Well, do you know what? I get so disturbed each time I go out. I pass through sawmills and I see trees being
welded for
the wood,
construction
the plants,
and all that.
And I imagine...
No, it's okay to do that, but let there be replanting.
That where I'm going somewhere. Okay. That is about where I'm going to. When you see these trees being brought from the forest, from Ondo State, Ekiti, and Osun, and even part of your state.
Yes,
You wonder, is something being done here? In Nigeria, we play to the gallery, talking about what is needed to be done. We give a promise that we want to do it, but at the end of the day, we leave things undone. And we have research institutes. They will make recommendations, but these recommendations are not followed. In fact, research institutes are seen as just mere places where people sit down in the morning, and at the end of the month they collect their salaries.
To be honest with them, I do some little research. The problem with research in Nigeria is lack of funding.
Lack of funding.
It's not as if they want to laze in their offices, but there's no funding.
These are experts, but because
there's
they are
no funding,
no mobilization,
and they cannot use their money to do it. Do they even have the money to do it?
How much of the money do they have?
So it's not as if they are lazy. It's
no, I'm not talking about laziness here.
It.
Yes, because you keep them idle, then they don't have a choice, and the little they are able to do, they make recommendations, and these recommendations are they are just swept under the carpet, and it is very sad. It's like we are just wasting money. We have our researchers, we take them for granted, and then we leave things just on auto run. Oh, no, that is not fair enough on this country. That is not fair enough on us as citizens. That is not fair enough because even in the sight of God, because God has blessed us with all there is for us to survive. And Nigeria, a very big country with vast land, very vast land. And about not less than 75% of the land that we have in Nigeria is arable. Do you know that if you go beside the road there and you put corn in the soil, it will shoot?
We have a fertile land. Our land is very fertile.
Oh, no.
Extremely fertile.
And then,
but we're not making use of it.
We are not making use of it. We have different fruits that are, like apple. Apple, you find apple even in just Plateau State there. Where other countries are importing it. And you know a country like Kenya to the UK. And we only, even for us to plant flowers around our houses becomes an issue. You find a place where you build your house and everywhere is concreted. And when you leave the green area in your house, people will say, so you don't have money to buy.
In fact, when you even have a farm in your house, your neighbors will be saying, please, we'll be watching because of snakes.
Yeah.
They will come and knock your door.
Oh, no.
It is well.
We have to redefine our purposes. We have to determine what we want and what is good for us against what we think is about modernity. Because when you are talking of you have two plots of land, you have one small or big house there, then the other part you have interlocks there, and no single flower, no single plant on the surface. That is not even eco-friendly, I suppose. That is not eco-friendly. Now, for NCF to tell us that they have planted a total of 184,000 trees in year 2024, if they continue each year.
Even that amount is quite ridiculous for
it's
a
ridiculous.
Nation.
Do you know what? Let us make reference to when you were in your school. You said each student planted one.
Yes.
We have a total of over 200 million in Nigeria. Let's say even one
home plants one.
Yes.
That's
at the end of the day, we are going to have it big.
Yeah. That figure of 180-something thousand is like it's nothing to write home about for a nation as big as Nigeria.
But this is better than nothing because by the time you take
I'm sure the reason why it's that low is because there's no enough adequate funding.
No adequate funding.
Or there is maybe mismanagement on their part, or some funds are being sidetracked, because that figure is quite... We should be talking about 1 million. Yes.
Yes. And I tell you, by the time, you are talking of 2024, 184,000. Just care to take a look at what was the case in 2023. What was the case?
It could have been less.
It may be 10,000, maybe 5,000. Maybe
you don't
1,
even need to tell me that.
no.
It's so obvious.
So let us
because for them to come out and say we've done something.
Yes, at least we are alive. We are trying to do something. So we give it to the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. We want to say kudos to you, but then don't let it end.
There's a lot of room for improvement.
Yes, a lot of room. This ongoing year 2025, by the time you give us the record of what much you have been able to do, at least don't let us find that you did less than 184,000. And then we don't want it to be mouthed. We want it to be in practice. We want you to be able to show
something
us.
we can all see.
Yes, show us. We don't want AI generated videos. We want real videos.
We want people to play and actually see. Seeing is believing.
Yes, tell us where some of these trees are, so that we will be sure that the due diligence is being done here. So that is that about that. Then let's go to the issue of Egypt and Nigeria. I recall this story of Egypt, Nigeria deepening economic educational ties. Reminds me of the issue of electricity generation, and we were talking about Nigeria forming an alliance, lacing with Egypt.
That was early last month.
Yeah, no, that was quite
like 2-3 months earlier.
Yes, thereby ago. Now here we are talking about not just partnership in area of energy alone. We are talking about
education, agriculture,
economy, and all that. What do you think?
Like I always say, all these collaborations are welcome development, but can it be sustained? And reading the news again, I remembered while we were reading the news, they talked about, in the area of education, they talked about exchange students.
Yes.
And I asked myself, how many people from Egypt are coming to study in Nigeria?
In Nigeria.
That news, I mean, it shows that we have declined in our performance. I remembered back then, the Prince of Saudi Arabia and his entourage came to UCH. You understand? You can imagine, because there was exchange. We could go there, they could come here. So this tradition of exchange has been on for years, but from our own part, we're not maintaining it. We are the ones now going there. They're not coming here anymore. No exchange students will come to Nigeria. For what? When the all the politician children, because they're the ones that can afford the fees, they are all in the best schools globally. Back in the days, there was a lot of exchange program. They come, we go, because they were the ones that laid the foundation, and they knew that what they have there is good. But when it is given to us to maintain after independence, see what has happened. So that is just one area I want us to focus on. They said exchange. Can we still exchange now? We can't. I don't think anybody in their right sense will want to come here. Number one, even in security, it's not safe. Then the schools, there's no proper management. The funding is zero, little or nothing. You understand? So who is coming? The curriculums are not updated. You understand? We are just doing this bookish curriculum. There are other things that should be implemented in the curriculum. And again, and those that are implementing the curriculum, the teachers, the administrators, are they being properly catered for? As in, are they being geared up to do the job? As in, yes, dignity in labor. So many things. So that side really caught my attention as an exchange student. We can't even boast of that. Agriculture, even in the area of agriculture, we are lacking. We are really lacking. As in lacking. Yes, they said the advent of education made a lot of people to leave the farms. But that's not true. There are lots of people that went to school that read agri-economics, as in agriculture.
Science and all that.
But they are not. Science. But our nation is focused on crude oil. We have left agriculture behind. Yes. So it's a two-way thing. You understand? They are still moving forward, but we are lacking behind. So we cannot even boast of exchange, whether in agriculture, whether in
that we are on reverse gear.
If you want to say that.
Because, yes, you touch on very salient things here. You did talk about what used to be in the education sector, for instance. The education sector was vibrant in the past, where we have the Opeyemi Awolowo University of those days. You have
even UCH, University Teaching Hospital in Ibadan.
Teaching Hospital.
There were lots of referrals here and there, people coming, people going.
And
if for the Crown Prince and the Prince of Saudi Arabia to come to Nigeria, UCH.
Can
they still come now?
Can he still come over now?
It's not going to happen again.
Situation where UCH is crying no electricity supplies.
They are on solar.
Oh, a situation where you need to buy glove to be treated at UCH and
there
all
was a
that.
day I went to UCH and the hall I was in, I think they're on solar panels. You know, solar panels are channeled in a way that maybe it cannot take this, it can take this. So we're all sweating. They said no, they couldn't on the fans because if they on the fan, it's to trip off.
Well,
can you imagine?
It is well with Nigeria, but what we are saying in essence here is that for Egyptians, in this case, exchange program between Egypt and Nigeria, for Egyptian students to come over to Nigeria. Sorry about that. To come over to Nigeria for exchange, there should be something to offer. It is not they won't come here to imbibe decadence. They won't come here when we have ASU strike.
We have nothing to offer them. That's just the truth.
Okay.
We have nothing to offer them. That's just the truth.
Let me put it this way. We have near nothing to offer them.
Okay, that's been fair.
Oh, well. But
that's been modest and decent.
Yeah. I think now we have it better where we've not experienced ASU strike in recent time, but ASU is threatening another strike now.
They're trying to contain them. I heard from an inside. I heard they're trying to contain it because
I pray.
Since the Tinubu has boasted that during his tenure there's not going to be ASU strike. I hope he keeps up to
and so far there has not been.
I pray they are trying to contain it.
Yeah.
Because and again elections are coming up, so this is not the right time to go. And ASU is smart. They know that this is the best time for them to make their noise because of the forthcoming elections.
Well, the ambassador of Arab Republic to Egypt to Nigeria, Mohammed Fawda, he did mention the areas where there could be collaboration. He said he said that this could be in the area of security, counterterrorism, agriculture, education, healthcare, infrastructure, and he also mentioned tourism. At least we know very well that Egypt is a place to be in terms of tourism.
Yes, very, very. I remember when we went to Israel then through Egypt, Turkey, that place is quite, their tourist is good. Though people are saying because of the war in Israel now,
well,
a lot of damage has been done.
A lot of damage, but then let us hope that the leadership would take the bull by the horn. Our tourism, we have a lot to do. Do you know that each time I walk the street and I look into the drainages, I feel like I don't want to. How do I manage to put food in my mouth when I get back home? Each time I see our water bodies, no, I feel like, this is a big mess.
Actually, the drainage system is not completely the government. Also, we ourselves, as in, citizens too, need to be cultured. I can tell you that in my area, they would put signposts that if you throw being here, you are caught. This is the penalty. So it's not all about the government. The government is trying, even community level wise, through landlord association, they are trying to see how the drainage can flow. But some citizens, in quotes, that are not cultured, they would leave their house, pack all their refuse, tie it up in a sack or something, and throw it when people are not looking. And these are the things causing drainage, because it will block the drainage and the water will have a standstill and it will start, smelling. And so it's not completely the government.
We should ensure that there are no blockages to our drainages. Well, and the rains are yet to come. we are going to have big rains in
the second belt.
Yeah. Well, now we are talking about intentionality today. And, well, Mrs. Olufumilade, what is it about intentionality?
Good afternoon, my viewers. Good afternoon, my listeners. I hope we're still leveraging on last week's topic. In fact, 2 weeks topics on, I think the last 2 weeks we've been talking about emotional intelligence, which is very, very vital, key. And also last week we talked on decency. Today we're going to be talking about intentionality. I'm talking about to be intentional. To be intentional, first and foremost, you need to be deliberate, very, very deliberate. You need to be concise. You need to be aware. You need to be focused. You need to be, purposeful. To be intentional means it's an everyday activity that we should never overlook, as in being aware of ourselves, being deliberate, being focused, being mindful. If you are intentional, you are mindful. And intentionality can be narrowed to everything we're doing, as parents, as a couple. Somebody was telling me that marriage is 50-50. I said, who said so? I said, when you are intentional, you will never say marriage is 50-50. Marriage is 100% zero. You do everything you should do. That is intentionality. You are so intentional. Someone else told me that intentionality is to be desperate. I said, okay. I think the positive side of being desperate can be termed as intentionality, because if you are negatively desperate, it's not good. But if you are positively desperate, then it's a good thing. The good news about being intentional is that you are able to achieve objectives. You understand? Lay down mission, vision, mandate. You're able to achieve them. You can take good decisions because you are focused. You understand? You are purposeful. So you can arrive at at good results just by being intentional. You understand? And then above all things, you can do whatever you set your mind to do, because awareness has to do with gaining knowledge, information about what you set out to do. A lot of times, the reason why we start things and we don't finish them is because we are not intentional. You understand? We are doing this thing about procrastinating, or we are just building castle in the air. You understand? To be intentional, you need to plan things out. You need to bring out your drawing board and write it out and take it step by step, mark by mark, and work at it, so that at the end of the day, you can solve a problem. You understand? You can solve a problem, you can take a good decision, and you can arrive at your objectives. The reason why a lot of people are where they are today, honestly, in marriage, parenting, children in school, career-wise, business-wise, is because of that word, intentionality. We don't put in our all in what we are doing. Number one, awareness. We don't gain enough information to be able to navigate. Intentionality has to do with gaining information. You need to be aware. You need to be mindful. And again, you need to be assertive. An intentional person has to be assertive, or else you cannot get the end result. So I'm going to leave us today with the word being intentional.
To you, for the word on intentionality, let us be intentional about all we do, because there are purposes, and then we should take life more serious. And then it is the way we handle life that will determine the results that we get. It is on this note that we are going to call it a day on business diet. This week, I want to say a big thank you to our official guest analyst, Mrs. Dolapo Olufumilade. It's been a swell time together, and it's a very sweet sale for that matter. I want to also thank our engineer in the house, Oluwatbelumi, and Lunike. You've done a very good job. I say kudos to you, and I won't go until I've said a big thank you to my producer, Toluwaleke Ali, for the technical advice and support given to me for us to have a good show today. Then I want to say to you out there, as you travel through the remaining days of this week, go with optimism, be prayerful, and I say you are going to have it fine. At the end of the day, you will have good testimonies. Until next week, when we see, I say a big thank you to you. My name is Akinwale Aboluwade, your friend on radio. Cheers.
It's crazy to know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. No more lining up outside the club, straight to the door. Of course they remember me. I live a VIP.